Okay, so this is going to be a reshoot of a simple combat video that I did just the other day for WFRP using Foundry. Um, Very thankfully, MooMan, who is actually the original creator of the WFRP material, jumped onto my YouTube and gave me some comments, which was super helpful and insightful, and I did not know. So I'm going to go back through the combat video, but this time with his insights attached and included. In particular, I've also now set up two views. So what you can see is I have the GM view up, and then I have the player view up. So I've set myself up as a player on a different tab so you can see both. Looking forward to just running through it. Okay, so the first thing is this was just meant to be a simple combat tutorial. So we will start by, obviously, I've got an Ungor, which is the villain. I've got two characters from the pre-gens, Gunnar and Salunda. If we go to the GM view, because that's the one that'll let us set up the encounter, I'm just going to clear the encounter that I'd already created. So there you go. That's how you clear an encounter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, add these guys to the combat. So the way I do that is the sword and shield symbol down there, toggle combat status. Up comes one. I'm going to do the same thing for two. Then I'm going to do the same thing for three. We haven't begun combat yet. This is how I generate their initiative. Now, I don't have any of the special rules or the alternate rules set up, so it literally is just based on initiative and then agility. So if I hit the dice symbol, we get their initiative and their agility. So Ungar is first, Gunnar is second, and Salunda is third, which is exactly as it should be. Just to quickly go over it, we obviously have the floating things around the character. So let's just talk about that. If I was doing additional movement, that's where that goes. If I get an advantage, that tallies at the top there. So that 0 will be where I account for my advantage. The 14 below represents my hit points. We have the character's current, conditions. So you've got bleeding, you've got diseased, you've got all of those things. You've also got dead. If I turn on this one, that toggles visibility status and allows the GM to set a monster as hidden from the player's view. So if I turn that on, obviously as GM, it becomes a shadow. If I flick across, disappeared. You can't see it. So that works really well. Okay, so let's undo that, and then the monster will reappear. Aha. Okay, on this side, we have the targeting icon, which is the thing I click on when I'm going to launch an attack against a creature. And here we have the settings and the token set up and all of that stuff. Okay, so we have 16 run because our movement is 4, 8, 16. For the sake of this little combat, I'm just going to place them there. Since they're going first, we're going to hit begin combat. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move in direct conflict with Salunda. Now, the Ungar has charged. So when I launch my attack, I'm going to select charge as an option. So the way I do that is I click on the character sheet and I go to the weapon. Now what I have is all of the standard skill modifiers. And if you've played WFRP, you'll see all of these. I tick the box to indicate that I've charged. Awesome. So what you'll see is that's instantly added an advantage and a modifier. Now I can roll. However, I have not targeted Salunda. So if I roll without targeting, I will get a roll, but it doesn't know against who, right? So it's a bit useless. So let's do that again, but this time let's make sure we've targeted Salunda first. So the way I target Salunda is I just simply do that and they are targeted. Now I'm going to roll against them. Keeping, actually, sorry, I'm going to drop, even though it's a bit reductive, I'm going to drop that back down to 0 and put the charge back in. So now when I roll, I got 53. So what you can see there is I got a success because my target is 55, but I got no additional success levels because I only got in the 50s. But I'm doing 6 points of damage with my weapon and I've hit them in the body. If I now double click on Salunda's character sheet, and actually I'll do that as a player, sorry. I will double click on Cylinder's character sheet. She's been hit. I can go to combat myself and I will roll my sword skill. Now I'm just doing that. And I got 42. And Cylinder won by 2 success levels with the weapon test. Okay, so now what I can do is I can take a dark deal to roll. I can use a fortune point to add to my success level. So what I'm doing is I'm right-clicking on the chat window, and that gives me these options. And actually, I didn't try this before. Might be... No, I can't because I'm not the GM. So hold on. Let's just see what we get. Nothing. Okay. So that didn't do any actual damage, which is fine. I won, as in Cylinder won. And now what I'm doing is it is the next person in the combat chain. So the way I can do that, and I've got to remember which player I'm being. Sorry, bouncing around a bit. Let's go here. Okay, so Gunnar is now in frame. If I go back to being Gunnar and I click on Gunnar and then I double click. Yep. Okay, so double clicking gives me them as a target. Now I can roll for Gunnar and I go to the combat and then I click my... Oh, actually, hold on. I haven't moved into hand-to-hand range. Whoops. So let's move Gunnar into hand-to-hand range. Now I outnumber the Ungar. I've got a 2-to-1 advantage, and we're going to represent that when we click on the axe skill. So obviously that actually reduces the difficulty of the roll or increases the ease of the roll, whichever way you want to read it. So that then becomes an average. So if I hit roll on that against the Ungar, I got 86. Now the Ungar is currently got to defend. So if I go back to my GM and I roll the Ungar's roll and I just roll, I think, no, I don't still have the advantage because I didn't actually succeed in that combat. So I'll just get rid of that. And then I roll. All right, 87. So that should be a win. Now I can right click. This is awesome, right? So I right click on the chat window and I get these options. So I can actually, apply the damage or just apply the damage in your AP, TB, toughness bonus, and armor bonus. But I'm just going to apply the damage. And what you can see is it was an opposed test. I've got the pop-up, so my advantage increased. I applied the damage to the Ungar. It took it, and I'm ready to roll. Okay, so if we go back to... I just happen to have both characters selected. Can I move that? Yes, I can. So now we're going to double click again. And I'm going to open up Cylinder, who I'm also using. And then it's double click right, not double click left, by the way, in case you're interested. And I'm going to wield my sword. Now, once again, outnumbered 2-to-1, so I change the skill roll to average, and then I hit roll again. Okay, and once again, the Ungar can try and oppose that. It's not looking good, I've got to be honest. So let's go to the Ungar and show it opposing that roll. Still challenging, 25. Okay, so Cylinder won. So if I click to Cylinder, go to the chat window, I don't know what, yep, nice, that's just catching up. And then I can go apply damage to the Ungar. Oh, I don't have permission, so the GM has to do that. Okay, so let's do that. Apply damage, and 0 loss of opposed 10 takes 9 points of damage, which I think kills it. Yep, wounds are 0. So then I can set the status to, and we just go to the status, and he's dead. The cool thing is, if we have a look at what happened to Cylinder, if we have a look at what happened to Cylinder. So exactly as per the chat window, I got an advantage because I'd won the first round of the combat. So that was added in immediately. The monster took the damage immediately, so that was also super useful. Really Really simple, really cool, very good implementation. So just to say it out loud, once again, big thank you to MooMan who developed the whole thing. It's amazing. It's the best implementation on Foundry. It's really very good. And yeah, hopefully that combat walkthrough will help the players. Okay, bye.